We just got back from Mining Disrupt Miami, one of the biggest Bitcoin mining conferences in the industry. Solo Satoshi was a sponsor, and we got to show off a lot of our miners, give Genesis Pass holders a limited edition Bitaxe Gamma, and unveil our new hydro-cooled Bitaxe Gamma Hex, which we pushed all the way to 13 terahashes per second during the conference. But Mining Disrupt wasn't just showing off new hardware. It brought everyone together from home miners and Bitcoin plebs to mining pools, repair companies, and big industrial operations. So in this video, I want to show you a bit about what Mining Disrupt is actually like, what Solo Satoshi got to contribute to this conference, and why this is a good conference for anyone who's interested in Bitcoin mining. Mining Disrupt is a little bit different than a normal Bitcoin or cryptocurrency conference because everything centers around Bitcoin mining. And everything there connects back to the infrastructure behind Bitcoin's proof of work network. You have ASIC manufacturers, mining pools, firmware developers, cooling companies, filtration systems, hosting providers, energy companies, repair businesses, industrial facilities, and home miners like Solo Satoshi. There are companies of every size, such as Ocean, Bitmain, Megaminer, and us, covering every part of the mining industry. At one booth, you might see equipment made for a huge facility running thousands of ASICs, and if you walk a few feet over, you might see a miner small enough to sit on your desk. That's what makes Mining Disrupt really interesting. You see the whole Bitcoin mining industry in one place, rather just one corner of it. For Solo Satoshi, going to Mining Disrupt was an opportunity to represent the home miners inside of an industry that spends a lot of time thinking about scale. Most mining conversions focus on things such as larger facility, lower electricity rates, more megawatts, bigger machines, and greater efficiency, which are important, but that's not the entire story. As many of you know, Solo Satoshi focuses on giving regular people an easy way to participate in Bitcoin directly from home. At our booth, people could see products like the Bitaxe Touch, different Bitaxe models, the Nerd QX++ Revision 7, and other open source miners running in person. They could see things such as live hash rate, temperatures, power consumption, and mining statistics instead of only seeing a product picture online. Some of the people who stopped by the booth already ran multiple home miners and knew exactly what they were looking at. Others had spent years inside industrial mining and had never looked at the open source home mining side of things, and some had never owned a Bitcoin miner at all. That gave us a great chance to explain that you don't need a warehouse, a huge energy contract, or millions of dollars to begin Bitcoin mining. You can start with something that sits on your desk, connects to Wi-Fi, and mines from your home. One of the coolest parts of our involvement was the limited edition Bitaxe Gamma that we provided for Mining Disrupt members. Anyone who had a Genesis Pass received one of these miners when they showed up. And this was not just any normal looking Bitaxe. The Mining Disrupt edition had a white circuit board with a blue stand, giving it a completely different appearance from the standard units. It looked awesome, and one of the best parts was that they can go and learn about Bitcoin mining from some of the largest companies in the world, and then go home with an open source Bitcoin miner of their own. For a lot of people that attended, I think that this is going to be one of the most memorable items that they brought home from the conference. And the limited edition Bitaxes weren't the only miners people took home. On the final day of the conference, we gave away 3 Canaan Avalon miners, an Avalon Nano 3S, an Avalon Q, and an Avalon Mini 3. People came over to the booth, spun a wheel, and had a chance to win an actual Bitcoin miner. 4 people went home from Mining Disrupt with brand new home mining hardware simply because they stopped at the booth, spun a wheel, and landed on the right prize. Some of the winners already had miners, and others walked into Mining Disrupt without any mining hardware at all and left with everything that they would need to start. That's what made these giveaways special. They were fun, but they also gave 4 people a direct entry to start Bitcoin mining. On top of all this, we also got to reveal the Bitaxe Gamma Hex. It's part of the Bitaxe family, so it carries forward the open source approach that made Bitaxe hardware so important to the home mining community. At its default settings, the unit was running at approximately 8.4 terahashes per second while drawing around 138 watts. During the conference, the team also began pushing the demo unit further. By increasing the frequency and voltage, we eventually reached approximately 13 terahashes per second. And what made it especially impressive was that we were still using the stock power supply and hydro cooling system that will come with the miner whenever you get it. The Gamma Hex really shows how quickly open source home mining is evolving. The Bitaxe ecosystem started with compact single chip miners. Now we have dual chip, quad chip, and 6-chip miners that are pushing performance past what we thought would be possible a few years ago. One of my biggest takeaways from this conference was seeing industrial miners and home miners exist side by side because they're two complete opposite sides of the spectrum. Industrial operators are dealing with energy contracts, facility construction, uptime, fleet management, and a large amount of capital. A home miner might be thinking about if the device is too loud for an office, how much energy it uses, and how to point it towards a solo pole. The scale is completely different, but the cool thing is they're both interacting with the same Bitcoin network. Large operations provide most of the hash rate securing Bitcoin today, and they're an essential part of the industry. But home miners distribute that hash rate across different houses, different cities, different countries, and different jurisdictions. And Mining Disrupt provides a place for both sides to interact. An industrial operator can go and see what's happening in the open source side of the community. Someone who's a home miner can go and see what it takes to operate at a professional scale. And both can learn from people who approach the same network from completely different perspectives. That connection between large-scale mining and individual participation was talked about in the panel The Great Re-Decentralization, which one of the CEOs, Matt, got to partake in. He talked about how there are two different types of solo miners in our experience. The first one is the one that likes the lottery aspect of it. They enjoy getting a chance at a large payout every 10 minutes, no matter how small the chances are. The second is the person who solo mines because they enjoy being a part of the network. They're helping distribute hash power and sometimes even mining from their own node and taking the self-sovereign route. Your full node verifies Bitcoin's consensus rules, your miner contributes proof of work, and building your own block templates reduces your dependence on large centralized mining pools to decide which transactions are included. Obviously, everyone would love to mine a block and get the block reward, but for someone running a low hash rate, the odds are low. So the question becomes, why mine anyways? You mine because you want to participate directly. You mine because censorship resistance is stronger when block construction is not concentrated within a few pools. One home miner will not decentralize the network alone, but thousands or even millions of home miners distributed across the world can make Bitcoin more resilient and more difficult for any one organization to control. But back to the conference, as impressive as the hardware was, the greatest value from Mining Disrupt was probably the people. You had executives, founders, engineers, technicians, and regular Bitcoin miners all in the same building. You could talk to someone managing their own industrial mining operation and turn around and talk to someone who bought their first Bitaxe. For businesses, that creates opportunities to find customers, suppliers, distributors, and future employers. Having a booth gives you the chance to put your products in front of people that might actually use them or bring them to a larger market. For someone trying to enter the mining industry, it's a good opportunity to talk to people about what jobs exist, what skills are really needed, and how they originally got involved. For miners or Bitcoin enthusiasts, it's a good opportunity to be able to ask about hardware you might only find out about through websites or YouTube otherwise. But some of the best conversations did not happen on stage. They were at a booth, they were in a hallway, they were at dinner, and Mining Disrupt provided the platform to let that happen. Overall, Mining Disrupt showed the whole spectrum of Bitcoin mining. Solo Satoshi went to Miami to represent the individual home miner and show that open source mining is continuing to improve, grow, and evolve every day. We provided limited edition Bitaxe Gammas. We gave away 4 Canaan miners. We got to show off miners such as the Bitaxe Touch or the Nerd QX Revision 7. And we got to unveil a 6-chip hydro-cooled Bitaxe, the Bitaxe Hex, which we pushed to 13 terahashes live. But most importantly, we got to meet the people who are building, operating, repairing, supporting, and expanding the Bitcoin mining industry. Markets will rise and fall. Machines will go online and offline. Technology will continue to change. But the people who believe in Bitcoin are still here building throughout every part of the cycle. That was our experience at Mining Disrupt, and we're already looking forward to doing it again. Thanks for watching, and make sure to head to Solo Satoshi for any of your home mining needs. Links will be in the description.